Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janaballabha Girivardhari. Gopi Janaballabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Prajajanaranjana. Yashodanandana Prajajanaranjana. Jamuna Thira Panachari. Jamuna Thira Panachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Prajajanaranjana. Jamuna Thira Panachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayom Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajagacharya Astotra Sri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajagacharya Astotra Sri Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sikoho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sri Navadvip Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Sri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Dwarka Dham Ki Jai. Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shishi Rukmini Dwarkadish Ki Jai. Gauda Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sattvam rajasthama ita prakritir gunasthair. Yukta para purusha eka ihasya datte. Stityadaye harivirinchi hareti samgya. Shreyam sitatra kalu sattvatanor ninamsyu. Sattvam rajasthama iti prakritir gunasthair. Yukta para purusha eka ihasya datte. Stityadaye harivirinchi hareti samgya. Shreyam sitatra kalu sattvatanor ninamsyu. Sattvam rajasthama iti prakritir gunasthair. Yukta para purusha eka ihasya datte. Stityadaye harivirinchi hareti samgya. Shreyam sitatra kalu sattvatanor ninamsyu. ladies. Sattvam, goodness. Rajaha, passion. Tamaha, the darkness of ignorance. Iti, thus. Prakrite, of the material nature. Guna, qualities. Tai, by them. Yuktaha, associated with. Para, transcendental. Purusha, the personality. Eka, one. Iha asya, of this material world. Date, accepts. Stiti adaye, for the matter of creation, maintenance, and destruction, etc. Hari, Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. Vidinchi, Brahma. Hara, Lord Shiva. Iti, thus. Samgya, different features. Sreyangsi, ultimate benefit. Tatra, therein. Kalu, of course. Sattva, goodness. Tano, form. Nirnam, of the human being. Syu, derived. The transcendental personality of Godhead is indirectly associated with the three modes of material nature, namely passion, goodness, and ignorance. And just for the material world's creation, maintenance, and destruction, he accepts the three qualitative forms of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Of these three, all human beings can derive ultimate benefit from Vishnu, the form of the quality of goodness. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. That Lord Sri Krishna, by his plenary parts, should be rendered devotional service, as explained above, is confirmed by this statement. Lord Sri Krishna and all his plenary parts are Vishnu Tattva, or the Lordship of Godhead. From Sri Krishna, the next manifestation is Baladev. From Baladev is Shankarshan. From Shankarshan is Narayan. From Narayan there is the second Shankarshan, and from this Shankarshan the Vishnu Purusha avatars. The Vishnu, or the deity of the quality of goodness in the material world, is the Purusha avatar, known as Kirodakshayi Vishnu, or Paramatma. Brahma is the deity of Rajas, passion, and Shiva of ignorance. They are the three departmental heads of the three qualities of this material world. The creation is made possible by Brahma's quality of passion and his endeavor. It is maintained by the goodness of Vishnu. And when it requires to be destroyed, Lord Shiva does it by the Tandava Nritya. The materialists and the foolish human beings worship Brahma and Shiva respectively. But the pure transcendentalists worship the form of goodness, Vishnu, in his various forms. Vishnu is maintained by his millions and billions of integrated forms and separated forms. The integrated forms are called Godhead, and the separated forms are called the living entities, or the jivas. Both the jivas and Godhead have their original spiritual forms. Jivas are sometimes subjected to the control of material energy, but the Vishnu forms are always controllers of this energy. When Vishnu, the personality of Godhead, appears in the material world, he comes to deliver the conditioned living beings who are under the material energy. Such living beings appear in the material world with intentions of being lords, and thus they become entrapped by the three modes of nature. As such, the living entities have to change their material coverings for undergoing different terms of imprisonment. The prison house of the material world is created by Brahma under instruction of the personality of Godhead. And at the conclusion of a kalpa, the whole thing is destroyed by Shiva. But as far as maintenance of the prison house is concerned, it is done by Vishnu, as much as the state prison house is maintained by the state. Anyone, therefore, who wishes to get out of this prison house of material existence, which is full of miseries like repetition of birth, death, disease, and old age, must please Lord Vishnu for such liberation. Lord Vishnu is worshipped by devotional service only. And if anyone has to continue prison life in this material world, he may ask for relative facilities for temporary relief from different demigods like Shiva, Brahma, Indra, and Varuna. No demigod, however, can release the imprisoned living being from the conditioned life of material existence. This can be done only by Vishnu. Therefore, the ultimate benefit may be derived from Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. Om Agyantimidandasya Gyananjanashalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juthapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahakana Raghunathan Bitam Tham Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahakana Lalita Sri Vishakan Bitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostite Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Binda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna. I'm very grateful to be with all of you again. New Dwarka Dham. Hare Krishna. This morning we are reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, entitled Divinity and Divine Service. Text 23. The transcendental personality of Godhead is indirectly associated with the three modes of material nature, namely passion, goodness, and ignorance. And just for the material world's creation, maintenance, and destruction, he accepts the three qualitative forms of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Of these three, all human beings can derive ultimate benefit from Vishnu, the form of the quality of goodness. Srila Prabhupada in this wonderful purport is explaining Vishnu as the Sarva Karana Karanam, the cause of all causes. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha Anadiratir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. That Govinda, whose transcendental body is eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the cause of all causes. Srimad-Bhagavatam declares that when you water the root of a tree, that water naturally extends to every part of the tree. So by worshipping Vishnu, the Supreme Lord, naturally the fulfillment of the worship of all devatas, demigods, is accomplished. I was listening to a recorded lecture of Srila Prabhupada, where he was describing the material condition in forgetfulness of our eternal natural relationship with the Supreme Lord. The lecture was in Rome, Italy, in the early 1970s. Srila Prabhupada, I believe it was his first time in Rome, and for most people, when we think of Rome, we think of the ancient Roman Empire. How it was so much conquering all areas. In the Western world, it was certainly the largest empire. And it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And Prabhupada was looking at it today, how it was hardly anything. So he gave an analogy of an ancient Indian fable of a dog. This dog was very hungry, and he found food, really good food. He was holding it in his mouth. He wanted to go to a secluded place so he can eat it without anyone else disturbing him. On his way, he happened to come by a river and happened to see his own reflection carrying the food in the river. When he saw the reflected food, he wanted that too. He had food himself, but he wanted what that other dog had. So he wanted to scare that other dog away so he could take his food. And he barked. But when he barked, the food fell out of his mouth and into the river and was washed away forever by the current. What is the lesson? The lesson is, Prabhupada explained, the nature of greed, the nature of kama, selfish lust, is it can never be satisfied. We're always looking for something else. Srila Prabhupada explains the basic principle of the entire material existence is envy. When we're not satisfied, we always need something else. We always need something more. And we're always comparing ourselves with what other people have. And we have to get that. But in the process of trying to get what other people have, we lose what we have. He said the Romans, they expanded, they kept consuming, trying to take other people's property. And in the process of expanding, they lost practically everything that they had. Like that dog with the food on the riverside. And to extend the analogy of how through envy in due course of time we lose everything that's of true value. Ananda mayo bhyashat. Everyone's looking for happiness, pleasure. We're pleasure-seeking beings because we're such an ananda. We're eternal. We're full of knowledge, full of bliss. As Vaishnavas, the ananda aspect of the soul is given the highest importance. And that ananda is in its fullest realization in our eternal loving relationship with Krishna. Nitya siddha Krishna prema sajya kabunoi saravanadi sudhi jiti koriye udoy. Prabhupada explains udoy means to wake up, awaken. That love for Krishna is within us. It's our dormant nature. Somehow or other it's forgotten. Why is it forgotten? Like that dog, because we're looking at the reflections. And we're chasing after the reflections. And as we chase after those reflections of happiness, we lose, through forgetfulness, the happiness that we have. Ananda. In the spiritual world, the residents of Vrindavan, the residents of Vaikuntha are eternally in Ananda because they're experiencing Krishna. They're experiencing Krishna's love and they're loving Krishna. And that ras is the origin of all happiness. Other philosophies are aimed at realizing the sat or chit aspects of the Supreme or of the soul. That we are eternal, we are undying, we are liberated from all sufferings, we are all-knowing. From a Vaishnava's perspective, what is the use of being eternal and full of knowledge if we're not happy? Ananda is the true natural happiness of the soul. And being part and parcel of Krishna, that is what we are all truly seeking. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he traveled from village to village, marketplace to marketplace, bathing ghat to bathing ghat, town to town. And he actually gave the instruction for his followers to go to every town and village throughout the world with this simple message. Jeev jago, Goda chandra bole, Gota nidra jayo maya pisa chirakole. Wake up, sleeping souls. You're sleeping in this lap of Maya. And in this dream state, we're trying to find happiness in this reflection of material energy. Srila Prabhupada gives this analogy of the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where there's a banyan tree with its roots facing upward and its branches facing downward. Srila Prabhupada explains, where do we find such a banyan tree with the roots growing up and the branches going down? In a reflection. When a banyan tree is beside a lake and we're looking at the reflection, that's what we see. So this dukkhalayam ashashvatam, this material existence, everything's temporary. It's a reflection of the spiritual world. When the eternal soul comes under the grips of Maya or illusion, the eternal soul is trying to find the happiness of Krishna, of loving devotional service to Krishna, through the process of exploiting the resources of material nature. Jivera swarupoi Krishnera nityadas. The very basic principle of waking up from the dream of illusion is to understand this simple principle, that we are eternally the servants of Krishna. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, he describes the highest achievement of a designation that anyone could possibly have is being declared Das, a servant of the Supreme Lord. In fact, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went beyond that. Gopi Bharatur Padakam Layora Dasa Dasa Das Anudas. Sri Chaitanya did not want even to be just the servant of Krishna. Even higher achievement is to be the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. Anu. The more we recognize our insignificance before God, the more we can appreciate the greatness of God. The more we focus on how great we are, that reflection, the less we can appreciate how great Krishna is. Krishna's Bhagavan means, just this morning I was listening to Srila Prabhupada, he said Bhaga means fortune. He said this in Los Angeles, right here, in this temple room. Bhaga means fortune, and Van means one who possesses. One who possesses all fortune. The fortune of beauty, knowledge, strength, wealth, fame, renunciation. When we have these qualities, we're considered fortunate, and we become attractive. We want to be attracted by these things, and we want to attract others by having these things. But Bhagavan is one who possesses all of these qualities in their totality, in their fullness. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita that whatever great things we see in this world are just a tiny spark of my splendor. We see how people are so much willing to endure so many difficulties, to incriminate themselves in so much karma just to get some wealth. People are so attracted and obsessed with beauty and knowledge, fame. But what is it? It's just a reflection in the current of the river of material existence. We can't hold on to any of it. It's ever flowing. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. Birth, old age, disease, and death is the basic principle of material existence. And no matter how beautiful or strong or wealthy or famous or renounced we may be, you can't hold on to anything. These three modes of material nature being described here are so powerful. Sometimes guna is translated as rope. It's like we are bound by ropes. These tendencies of passion, ignorance, and goodness keep us bound up. And we do not see, we do not understand how imperceptibly everything is being taken away from us. Srila Prabhupada explains from the moment a person is born, the process of dying has already begun. In fact, while you're in the womb of mother, the process of dying is happening. All roads lead to death in this material existence. But the Srimad-Bhagavatam describes one who utilizes their time to hear and chant to help each other to remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead. With every rising and setting of the sun, we are one day closer to eternal life. Everyone is looking for this Ananda. But where to look? This was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message. So, in this talk that Srila Prabhupada was giving, he was urging the devotees to take serious responsibility in our own spiritual lives, to receive this great message. He was describing how Maya is so strong. This reflection of the banyan tree, this reflection of the food in the mouth of the dog, this reflection of material existence looks so real. Daiviheshu gunamai mama maya duratyaya. Mame vamya prapadyante maya me datarantite. Unless we take shelter of the true reality, we cannot resist this false reality. Because we have to find pleasure somewhere. So if we are very responsible to chant the holy names, to hear Srimad-Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada was explaining how the deity is so merciful. Krishna has appeared in this form just so that we could serve him and love him. Srila Prabhupada gave a really special analogy. He said, Krishna is the universal form, the Virat Rupa. In 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna reveals his Virat Rupa to Arjuna. And through Vyasadev's writing, we're hearing about this Virat Rupa. He has countless arms and countless legs and countless heads, and he's so huge, he's covering the whole universe. He said, how do you make dresses for the Virat Rupa? So here at New Dwarka, you're very, very famous. It's been like this since the early 1970s. Best place for making dresses for Radharani and Krishna. In fact, Srila Prabhupada established New Dwarka as kind of the prototype of the ideal temple for deity worship, for Sankirtan, for community. He wanted this, like, leaders from all over the world to come and learn how to do everything here. So such wonderful dresses. He said, even if every dressmaker in the entire world were to work 24 hours a day, how do you make dresses for the Virat Rupa? It's impossible. Therefore, that Virat Rupa, that supreme, absolute, limitless personality of Godhead, he takes a form of only being about 4 feet high. And Sri Radharani, the original Lakshmi Devi, appears in this little form just about 4 feet high and stays in one pose so that we can make dresses for them. Beautiful dresses. And we can dress them and we could feed them. This is the Lord's supreme mercy, that the unlimited, just to accept our love, to help us to remember him and to serve him. And bhakti is the process of awakening bhakti. The word bhakti means unconditional, unmotivated, ecstatic love for the Supreme Lord. And bhakti yoga is the process of awakening that love. As Srila Prabhupada would say often, that in bhakti the end and the way of achieving the end are the same. The ultimate goal is to serve Krishna with love. And the means of achieving that is to serve Krishna with love. Through that sincerity, seriousness and sincerity, Srila Prabhupada would emphasize these two qualities. By serving, by chanting, by hearing, by worshiping the Lord, by carrying out the will of the spiritual master, through this way, our love is awakened because Krishna is pleased. Atapum birdvijas dreshtas varana shrama vibhagasha shvanushtatasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshana. Whatever our occupation, whatever our ashram, our success is to the extent we please Krishna. Lord Hari. Because Krishna is all attractive. He's Hari. He steals our mind away from all of these reflections. If you actually are tasting the real sweetness of good food, then you're not going to be chasing after the reflection. It's within us. It's who we are. Therefore, these beautiful temples, we come together to see the beautiful form of the Lord, to serve the beautiful form of the Lord. We come together to chant His names, to hear about His incredible, unsurpassable qualities, the philosophy of how the Lord is the cause of all causes, the source of everything that exists. And we, the spirit souls, Vipinamsa, our true happiness is in Krishna's glories. The concept that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught, Trinadapi Sunichena. When we're actually humble like this, like a blade of grass, tolerant like a tree, offering all respect to others and expecting none in return, then we're not chasing after the reflections of trying to be great ourselves. As long as we are, we're always trying to get more and more and more and more, never satisfied. Putting the fuel in the fire of our egoistic desires. But when we actually become humble, that Krishna's great. Yegatamam prapadyante. And Krishna reveals Himself to us. And Krishna's all attractive. Krishna descends into this world for this purpose, especially in His original transcendental form of Govinda. Krishna descends into this world to reveal His wonderful pastimes of love, reveal the love of the gopis and the gopas of Vrindavan. And through transcendental sound vibration to set the record forever of Krishna's loving relationships with His devotees. So that whenever, wherever, and whoever hears them from the source of true parampara, naturally our love awakens for Krishna, our attraction awakens for Krishna. And the joy of our life is sharing Krishna's beauty, Krishna's strength, Krishna's glories with everyone. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami tells, when Krishna appears in this world in His original form, Govinda, all other aspects of the supreme truth are within Him. Vishnu means the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Vishnu and Krishna are the same person. It's not that they are in any way different, but achintya bheda bheda tattva. At the same time, Krishna is revealing his full opulences as Govinda and revealing partial opulences as Vishnu. And as the demigods, as this beautiful purport is describing, generally they're taking responsibility for the various affairs of material nature. And people worship them for material blessings, material benedictions. And they can give those things. But for those who actually want the highest liberation of ecstatic love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught, the process is following the 9 processes of devotional service. By the sincerity of our service, when Krishna is pleased, Krishna gives us himself. The 3 modes of material nature, which so much implicate and complicate our both gross and subtle bodies, are so difficult to become disentangled from. In fact, impossible. Except by the Supreme Lord's mercy. Lord Chaitanya taught us, when we humble ourselves to really understand what is the power of Maya, and we call out Krishna's names in this spirit, then Krishna, Daivihe Shugunamai, he gives us shelter. Is there any questions? Yes, Prabhupati Prabhu.
Thank you, Maharaj. As usual, wonderful class. Thank you. Is it possible to be experiencing Ananda and not be making spiritual advancement and not pleasing the spiritual master? Now, say somebody's experiencing a little bit of a taste for chanting every now and then. Can they take it that, oh yeah, I'm making advancement, I'm pleasing my spiritual master, or not necessarily?
That is where Srila Prabhupada tells that we should be serious and sincere. If we're serious and sincere, we'll actually understand what the spiritual master wants. And in this way we will please. So there's various levels of happiness. But to the Yegatamam Prapadyante, as we surrender, Krishna reveals himself. And we surrender through being the servant of the servant of the servant. Yasya prasada bhagavat prasada. So, according to our sincerity, Krishna is going to reveal himself. We could make little advancement, just chanting and doing some little service, and that's wonderful. But if we actually want to go deep into the realms of true bhakti, then sarva dharman parityasya, we have to actually take shelter. Krishna, what do you want? Guru, what do you really want? It's not just about how to come out of the dream of this reflection. So it's not just, in our present state, it's not just about how we feel happy. Of course, we want to make each other happy. That's the nature of devotees. Prabhupada said, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Because when we're rendering Krishna conscious devotional service, if we're doing it properly, there is a happiness there. And that happiness sustains us too. That's what devotional community is about. That we're there to support each other. And even through the difficulties and the struggles that will inevitably be there, because our mind and our senses are so much habituated to these temporary reflected forms of happiness, to follow four regulative principles seems pretty miserable. Prabhupada would often quote Lord Jetland when he said, "Can you make me Brahmin?" And Prabhupada's godbrother said, "Yes, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling, no meat eating." And Lord Jetland said, "Impossible. What will I do?" So how can you be happy? Restraining. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matpara. How to be happy restraining your mind and senses? When the Western civilization is so much programming us that our happiness is in satisfying our mind and senses. Param dristvani vartate. We need to experience a higher taste. Tapasa brahmacharina with tapodivyam putraka yena sattvam. To experience that sokyam, that real happiness, tapodivyam, divine happiness can only come through tapasya. Tapasya doesn't mean suffering. It means accepting what's favorable for spiritual advancement and rejecting what's unfavorable. So in a devotional community, we understand it's very difficult to come out of these pangs of habituated, uncontrolled mind and senses. But we help each other to fix our consciousness on Krishna, to live a pure life for Krishna, to actually take responsibility for Krishna's mission, for our Guru's mission. And by taking that responsibility and pleasing Krishna and pleasing our Guru and pleasing the Vaishnavas in this way, then samsiddhir haritoshanam, Krishna is pleased. And then he gives us actual happiness. Anand. Nasta praeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavati sevaya. It's very important to hear the Srimad-Bhagavatam every day so that our intelligence is properly situated. Because the world around us and the mind and the senses are always going to try to divert us toward the reflections. And by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, we have the real nourishment of bhakti. We have it. We just haven't realized it in full. But these reflections are going to always be there to divert our attention and forget what we really have. So the association of devotees hearing together the Srimad-Bhagavatam helps to keep us focused and reminded. What is real? What is true fortune? Does that answer your question?
Yes. Thank you. I have one more question, but I'll wait. Maybe somebody else has a question.
Thank you, Maharaj, for that beautiful answer. I remember when Srila Prabhupada was approached by one hippie who had begun chanting and he told Srila Prabhupada had been chanting this Maha Mantra, and I've been seeing vivid colors and music, and it's been fantastic. Everything has been just intensified. It's really working. And Prabhupada looked at him and he said, "That's all right. You keep on chanting. It will all go away."
Thank you.
Can I ask the second part?
Singhananda Prabhu is giving us hope, limitless hope.
On this point that you made about knowing, trying to know or try to understand what the spiritual master really wants, what will really satisfy him. So, this is a legitimate question, by the way, it's not a fake question. Can we expect, should we be thinking that, okay, let me just practice seriously, let me just practice sincerely, as I get purified, that will be revealed to me. No need to, go to external sources. It'll just be revealed to me. I'll understand from within my heart, through some inspiration or whatever, what exactly I have to do to please the spiritual master in the best way. Or, am I kind of an illusion thinking like that? Is it something that you have to take, consult with people more advanced than you about to really understand? And can it, or is it a combination of both? In other words, how do you actually come to that understanding of what you really need to do to please the spiritual master in the best possible way? Should you, just what I said. I really would like to be enlightened on that point.
Let's go back to Nrsimhananda Prabhu's wonderful quotation of Srila Prabhupada. If that person didn't ask Srila Prabhupada, he would have forever, maybe not forever, but for a long time, just been chasing after all those lights that he was seeing. Because he asked Srila Prabhupada told him. So, we all have our lights and our reflections that if we're humble, if we're actually humble, we understand that Maya is very strong, and we need the association of advanced devotees. And that association is not just a ritualistic conception of being in the same room. It means seeking guidance. And Srila Prabhupada's purports are speaking things so clearly, but to understand how to practically apply them in our lives, it's the greatest blessing of Krishna when we have advanced devotees, and it's our greatest fortune to receive the blessings of those devotees by inquiring.
So that's the general recommended process, to seek guidance. I mean, some very fortunate soul might be able to just practice seriously and have things revealed to them, but better to play it safe and seek guidance.
Even so, it may be revealed to us within by our sincerity, but a humble devotee still wants to get it reconfirmed by those who are advanced and who are trusted in Krishna consciousness. Yes, Prabhu.
Radhanatha Maharaj, thank you very much for your association and guidance. We're practicing not as individuals, we're practicing as part of a society that was set up by Srila Prabhupada with a structure. And Prabhupada wanted us to follow. Even while he was here, devotees were writing to him, asking him questions, and Prabhupada said, ask your temple president, ask the GBC. So Prabhupada was setting that mood that it's not just you and the spiritual master, it's you, spiritual master, and the society that the spiritual master set up. So we cannot have, right now I don't know exactly how many, initiated devotees there are in ISKCON, but there are a lot. We can't have everybody doing their own thing because they had some revelation inside. That's going to cause chaos. You have to always work within the boundaries of the society, otherwise it's again going to, and the society is set up for preaching. So to preach means we have to cooperate. Sometimes I may have a bright idea to do it this way, that way, but if it doesn't fit into the structure that's there already, hello, you may have to restrain yourself. Otherwise, we have what we've had in the past. People advanced so much that they didn't want to be part of society anymore, and therefore they went off and did their own thing.
Thank you. You make giving class so easy for me. Wonderful.
Can I ask a question unrelated to the class? Everybody seems to be really enjoying being here.
I
So,
think you already answered
okay.
all questions.
All right.
We're out of time.
One last question. It's a quickie. This is
Savas Prabhu, is there time?
okay. Okay. Yeah, everybody's having a good time. One more. So I gave class a few days ago, and I made the point in class that when somebody falls down into the lowest species of life, they have to. It's mechanical. Their evolution or their progress back to the human form of life is mechanical. They just work their way through one species after another until they come back to the human form of life again. There's some sort of a, progression that's there. And so somebody questioned me on that. Where did I hear that? And I couldn't give them a reference. This morning, I heard Prabhupada say, in a morning walk conversation on Venice Beach, 1973, that he said, when you're in the topmost position and you fall down, and he said, step by step, you have to come back. So I took that as being confirmation of the point I made in the class, and I just want to make sure I'm understanding this point correctly for my benefit and for the benefit of the people who heard it, and especially that person who questioned me about it. Is that how it works? Say you fall down, you're a human being, and you fall down to a worm in the stool. Do you have to work your way back up through all the different species? Is it like sort of like a set, doom, 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 until you come back up to the human form of life again, or how does it work?
That's the general principle.
That's the general principle.
That Srila Prabhupada and our acharyas taught us. But by the mercy of Vaishnav, Krishna can intervene. If you give a little insect Mahaprasad, he may get special blessing. Someone hears the holy name, even a tree may get special blessing. So we have the opportunity to try to help elevate everyone above. Just by hearing the holy names, by tasting Krishna's prasad, by appreciating a devotee in one way or another, Krishna intervenes in our evolutionary bondage. That is mercy. There's the general principle, and then there's mercy. Thank you very much.